So today I'm going to talk a little bit about community. I'm actually really fortunate in being able to go first. You're going to hear a little bit more later about community from Miranda, from Jake, and Sebastian. And trust me, I would rather go before them than have to follow them. They are three extraordinary humans and excited to hear what they have to share. Most of my experiences that I'll share will really be through the lens of CrossFit. But I think what we all share here is much bigger than just CrossFit. It is this global community that knows and experiences the benefits of being part of a really special community that comes together around shared adversity. And that's what I want to talk about today, the benefits of shared adversity. The last 8 months in this role, so I started this job back in August of last year. And while I had been a part of the community, the CrossFit community, for about 9 years, being in this role has given me an opportunity to experience it through a slightly different lens. And while this notion of shared adversity isn't necessarily new to me, as Michael mentioned, I spent some time in the Marine Corps, and I'd argue that probably nobody does shared adversity better than the military, maybe the Marine Corps in particular. And if you met my father, I think shared adversity was his parenting philosophy. I've gotten a chance in this new role to really experience and get to think and understand the impact of shared adversity through a slightly different lens. So one of the really incredible parts of this job for me, perhaps the part of the role that I love and appreciate the most, is the chance that I've had to get out and spend time with members of our community. So over the last 8 months, I've gotten a chance to travel around the US. I've gotten a chance to travel internationally. I've met with thousands of members of our community, of athletes. Got a chance to meet with coaches, affiliate owners, gym owners who have committed their life to helping other people and create this incredibly special community. And in that, I've gotten a chance to hear some just incredible stories. And I'll be honest, coming into the role, I expected to hear a lot of stories about how CrossFit helped people get in better shape, improve their fitness, build some strength. But these stories were so much more profound than that. And I'll give you an example that's illustrative. So one of the first moments that was really impactful for me in the new role back in August was the second day at the CrossFit Games. And in the midst of everything that was happening there, I had a gentleman who came up to me after a particular session and grabbed me and asked me if I had a couple minutes to hear his story. And he wanted to share with me what the CrossFit community, what this amazing community had done for him in his life. And he started, 4 or 5 years back, and he told me how at that point, before he had discovered fitness, before he had discovered this incredible community, he weighed 500 pounds. At this point, he was struggling with both alcohol and drug addiction. He had a hard time holding down a job. He suffered from depression, suicidal ideations. He had gotten connected with a doctor who was leading him down the route of gastric bypass surgery and pharmacological interventions. And he told me he was blessed and lucky that just before that happened, he had a friend of his drag him into a local gym. Now imagine how intimidating that first experience was for this guy at 500 pounds, had not been introduced to fitness and health a moment in his life. And what he told me was, despite being terrified, scared to death to step foot in that gym, what he found on the other side of that front door was a community that helped him through a journey that changed his life in profound ways. So he stood there, 4 years later. He had lost 250 pounds. He told me he's been able to manage his addiction. It's in a great place. He's got a steady job that he loves. He's got a community of people now who are close friends of his that he says are essentially like family. And I could see and feel the happiness and optimism just radiating off this guy. And I'll tell you, over the course of the last 8 months, I've heard hundreds of other stories just like that. Stories from people who talked about their journey with fitness, being connected to this community, and how the benefits of that transcended what happened inside the gym, what happened inside those workouts themselves. And that got me thinking a lot, reflecting. What is it about this experience? What is it about stepping into a gym or going on a ruck with other people, sweating and suffering, that can create that type of life-changing impact for folks? And for me, I think it's this, as I reflect on it, I think it's this really magical alchemy that comes when people do really hard things together with a sense of community. I think in these moments when we're suffering together, all the things that make us different fall by the wayside, and we're connected in this common humanity that when you're suffering and there's a person next there who has been there with you, who is encouraging you and motivating and cheering for you, I think there are a set of relationships and bonds are built that can be profoundly life-changing. I was reminded, got a chance this morning, it's my first time in Jacksonville, I got a chance to drop into a local CrossFit gym this morning. And despite the fact that I had not met anyone in this local community, the minute I walked in the door, I could feel that sense of welcoming, common connection. I felt the same thing walking around the festival today. I haven't gotten the chance to meet most of you, but I suspect if we struck up a conversation, within a couple minutes, we'd be able to unite and find common purpose around something that's important to us. And that feeling that I have when I walk around events like this, when I walk into a new gym for the first time and see the way that people connect with each other with such positivity and optimism and belonging, connection, stands in such stark contrast if you zoom out and look what's happening in our world more broadly today. And if you give me a second, kind of take a step back, when I think about where we are as a society, if we think more broadly where we are in humanity, gosh, there is so much that separates us today. We're coming off a couple years of a global pandemic. Rates of anxiety, loneliness, suicide are at all-time highs amongst adults and more alarmingly amongst children. And they're trending in the wrong direction. Despite decades of ever-increasing wealth and technological innovation, we are less and less healthy than we've ever been as a society. In the US, over 70% of adults are overweight, over 30% of children, again, trends that are going in the wrong direction. These are folks who will deal with all of the challenges and implications associated with that. And in the face of these challenges, what do we see? We see more calls for the new magic drug, the magic pill, easy outs that we know don't drive the type of sustained results that you can find inside of a gym. And so I think about that. That's our opportunity. Those tens of hundreds of millions of people who are suffering from those things, who have not yet discovered what we all know. The life-changing impact that can come if you step into that gym for the first time or show up at that ruck for the first time and build that connection with other people around doing hard things. We all know the sense of purpose and belonging and connection that happens inside these gyms, that happens on these rucks. We all know that the resilience and grit that you build in the gym transcends the four walls, better equips you to deal with the challenges that inevitably come your way in life. We all know that for folks who are struggling with these lifestyle challenges and diseases, metabolic disease, etc., we know that fitness is the step towards addressing these challenges. And with it, on top of sustained results and life-changing impact, comes a level of satisfaction and pride that dwarfs anything you're going to get from a pill or a shot. We know that as we age, and I'm reminded of this every morning when I wake up and get out of bed, we know the benefit that can come from fitness and allowing us to make the very most of every minute we have on this planet. And it's in this that I think about our opportunity. And for us at CrossFit, this is our mission and mandate. How do we take this magical thing that we kind of stumbled upon that can be so profoundly life-changing for people? And how do we bring it and expose it to more people? And I think all of us have that same opportunity, giving us the opportunity to take the magical impact of shared adversity, of doing hard things with other people, of creating connection and a commonality around what brings us together and what makes us unique. It's what our communities need, it's what our society needs, it's what the world needs. Thank you.